Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to a real weather forecast. Now it's October 1st, which means you're probably out there putting out your Halloween decorations, starting to get your pumpkins. Now it's looking quite messy out there this morning, especially south of the Cape, as there's a lot of rain down there due to that front that's finally pushing down south. Now with the excessive rain outlook, the WPC did put us in a slight risk pretty much at the Cape South all the way down to Miami, as right now there is a lot of rain just hugging the coast, kind of just being stationary, bringing some like up to I've seen about 6, 7 inches, especially down by the Melbourne area, even some spots up by Fort Pierce, West Palm. Now up here in where I'm at in Volusia County, the rainfall did finally slow down here, but it is still dark out there. There will be still some sprinkles, but nothing compared to yesterday morning. Here's a current radar across the peninsula. Now you can see there's a lot of convection, especially got some pretty strong storms building up around Marin County, West Palm Beach County. And there's a nice big band coming in, still raining up by the Cape, which they've been getting a lot of rain this morning. And you can see there's a lot of convection offshore, which will slowly push on the shore. Now you probably noticed it ain't really moving very fast. That's because there's not really any like forcing from the storms to move as a front. Now looking at the GFS, right now you can see there's a front. Still got that low pressure system that, remember, when New York had all that flooding, that's it right here, but it did push away, which is that there's a front that's attached to it. And if we do run head, still consistent on that front going down, all the way down to the bottom, to the Keys. But then we got another plume of moisture coming in. Looks like Tuesday, so we might see more rain, a better rain chance up here north of the Cape by Daytona Beach area. Same to Euro. Euro still very consistent on that with the front down here in the Keys. If you notice, you see these isobars. Now the closer they are, the windier it gets, which is called a tight pressure gradient. And when you see that, we have higher winds. And right here you can see those winds coming in from the northeast, roughly around 19, 18 knots. Pretty strong. That can bring in some decent big waves coming in. And that's why we have a coastal flood advisory. Now yesterday I posted on my weather page on Facebook. There's some roads underwater along, if you know the area, by Dunlawton Bridge in Port Orange. And with that onshore flow, we have king tides, and I think there was a full moon a couple days ago too, which also helps for higher tides. So that, and also all the heavy rain. If you all add together, you get higher water. The water can't really go anywhere. So I've seen some roads about 1 to 2 feet underwater. So it was definitely not good to drive in. And the water was pretty close to some houses, but not too bad, which was pretty good. But then if we take this on, the gradient does pick up. We do see some winds even picking up to 20 knots, 21 knots. And since there's convection down here, some of those storms could bring in some more gustier winds, more onshore flow. But you see is a really long fetch of wind. Usually when you see those long fetch of wind, bigger waves, more water can be pushed. So I expect more coastal flooding on the east coast. Now if we head into Monday, looks like, yeah, even the winds pick up even more, especially in the morning of Monday. Wow, 21 knots. It's pretty windy. And I do expect the winds to slowly decrease as we head into the week. Yeah, more like end of the week. Sorry about that. More like end of the week, as the gradient does lift away, and you can see out here that's our little buddy Philippe's still out there doing a little dancey dance. I'll talk about that more later. But yeah, he's gonna stay out here and hopefully bring some nice swells. Probably not until later for the surfers. If any surfers out here watching, I myself do surf, but still a little rusty on it. But I'll work on it. Now, speaking of the waves, here's the marine weather forecast from NWS. Now this is between Sebastian Inlet and Jupiter Inlet, but even north of that, the waves are still gonna be about the same big. So here shows the wind's about 10-15, but then they pick up later in the afternoon, which 4 to 6 to 7 foot, and they even get any bigger. Pretty much 5 to 7, 8 foot all week. So not really a good fishing week for offshore, unless you got a huge yacht. But even that, I would not go out in those 5 to 7 footers. But yeah, all week, not really good. Go offshore at all. I would not recommend it. We have a small craft caution because of big swells. The inlets are going to be pretty bad, especially when the tide goes out. I've experienced that myself. Big waves, lots of wind. Be careful if you're going to go out in the ocean. I would not recommend it. And now let's talk about Philippe. Now, Philippe right now, it's kind of just sitting there. Still, now there's wind shear. It did kind of blow up earlier, but now wind shear got back to it again. You can really see the wind shear. So here's a circulation right here, but all the convection's over here. So we definitely have some strong northwesterly shear. And at the end of the frame, you can see nice little convection burst right here. So I expect more convection to blow up on top of it, but it'll probably die out since there's wind shear. But a lot of the models have been consistent that it will start to drift back up to the north. And here's a current advisory. So I do see kind of like drifts really close to the Greater Antilles. And they do have a tropical storm watch up here. I'm not really sure what the name of the islands are yet. I've been over here, never been over here. But yeah, they got tropical storm watches, so they probably will see some tropical storm conditions. Definitely rough surf, maybe some rain bands. Nothing too bad what they can't handle. And here's the models. So a lot of them pretty consistent. Curves back out. And if you if you look at the models the past week, they've been all over the place with this thing. It has to the west, east, north, south. That's because we had Rena next to it, affecting how it's gonna. Because they do what's called a Fujiyama effect, which they will like spin around, and it's hard to predict that because like you don't really know exactly what it's gonna do. It looks like Rena is weakening a lot, so it won't really affect Philippe that much anymore. As it looks like it'll probably get absorbed with Philippe. And Philippe's strength, once it gets out by like east of Bermuda, looks like it could be a pretty nasty hurricane. Now a lot of their intensity guidance here. Usually intensity is not like it's hard to predict, but a lot of models have been showing at least a Cat 1, and our hurricane models, which are like H Wharf and H Mon, and even our new hurricane models show almost even a Cat 3 major hurricane. So that would definitely rack up the points for our season here because we had many major hurricanes, but most of the hurricanes we had this season was mostly out in the ocean because our Bermuda High has been pretty weak. That's pretty much due to the El Nino, as our subtropical jet was much stronger, breaking in that Bermuda High. And yeah, see if anything else going on out there. Now Arena is kind of yeah, it's pretty much poofing away. You can see the center right here is kind of like unraveling. It ain't doing so good. Now if we do look at the guidance for Rena, oh no, Rena, yeah, not much support on Reno. As you can see, a lot of models kind of like end to here, but some of them keep them over here. But I'm not seeing much of Rena. Rena's probably gonna get absorbed by Philippe. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I think that'll end my discussion for today. Now just expect uh very wet flooding rains down south. Just be careful when you're driving. Remember, only 6 inches of water can pick up your car. So if you see a flooded road, go around it. Careful out there. And I'm expecting drier conditions tomorrow as that front keeps going down south. Tomorrow's looking pretty dry, and then Tuesday, another slug of moisture coming in from the ocean, but definitely not what we've seen the past couple of days. Just expect some random little showers, maybe some storms coming in from the ocean, but other than that, this week's not looking too bad. Nicer week. And we'll do a little tease here, but looks like we could see a pretty strong cold front coming in next weekend. So maybe our first taste of fall. Who knows? Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you.